Greetings, it is I, Dr. W.D. Gaster. I've received some highly personal questions, to the point where it's almost invasive. Tracing the source of this curiosity led me to a particular game called Undertale, made by an annoyingly fluffy dog named Toby Fox. Why is a fox a dog? Why is a dog a fox? This paradox is worse than multiversal inconsistencies. Also, this story was released in the year 2015. That is much, much longer ago than I initially thought. I'm honestly astounded by how far, wide and deep our story has spread across space and time. On one hand, I'm delighted that so many have learned to cherish monster kind. On the other hand, I'm a bit worried for everyone's safety. Trust me, I've experienced the consequences of unleashing that knowledge to the public firsthand. Onwards to the questions. How did time feel in the void? In retrospect, did it feel like a coma? One moment in the core, and the next moment elsewhere? Or do you recall experiences in the void? Time is one of those concepts where you take your frames of reference for granted. What do I mean? A sleep schedule is one. Hunger and thirst is another. Ever since I became scattered across space-time, I no longer require sleep, food, or drink. That means hours or days or months could have passed, and I would be none the wiser. And when that happens, one's responses to stimuli become rather disconnected. Leftover pieces of myself stuck in the physical realm further exacerbated the issue. I suppose one could say that I spent 10 whole years in a semi-dream-like state of mind. Any problems were thankfully resolved with Papyrus's help, directly or otherwise. I now have a network of computers to keep me in touch with reality, both for work, communication, and entertainment. Dr. Gaster, if you're free from the physical barrier and now scattered through time and space, could you detect any signatures of magic in space? I'm not sure what this meant. Are you asking if I had gone to the moon to test if I could receive a magic signal from there? Well, I'm afraid to say that I was too late to be the pioneer. The human mages did their space research the moment they could get the funding for it. The results? Well, there already were a few Magitech-based satellites orbiting the planet by the time we're out of the underground. Perhaps I should consider some extraterrestrial efforts on the side. Lately, I've been far too busy researching the multiversal nature of the void. Focusing on one field for too long can cause a scientist to stagnate. Help, Gaster. I don't understand a thing about Sans' powers, or Papyrus's. Are all skeletons like them? Now, settle down. Please don't panic. If this is your reaction, that tells me exactly what part of the Undertale game you've seen. Suffice to say, you have nothing to worry about if you've been a good person. To answer your question, no, not all skeletons are like Sans or Papyrus. That would be like thinking every human is an international athlete. Those two brothers are the cream of the crop of our kind, and thus it's unfair to compare anyone with them. The vast majority would be more like their parents. Normal strength, mostly harmless, and definitely not skewing space-time to mind-melting degrees. I'm certain there are some competitive folk out there who are thinking of challenging them this instant. A friendly duel is fine. Papyrus would be glad to entertain you. However, if you have a more malicious agenda in mind, I must offer you a warning. Cease those thoughts immediately. What you saw in that game is now severely outdated. Those two brothers have grown beyond imagination. And that is all for today. Very well, I shall now put down this prop cup and brew some real tea. Offline, I would add. It's been nice hearing from you all again. Please do not hesitate to ask more questions. Have a good day or night, wherever you may be.